Hey guys, welcome back to Sports Spectrum. I am Jason Romano. It's exciting to welcome Adrian Peterson. Obviously, you know Adrian, the NFL's fifth all-time leading rusher, and he's joined today by his wife, Ashley. Adrian and Ashley, welcome to Sports Spectrum. How are you guys doing?
Doing great, Jason, man. Can't complain.
Doing
Good.
well, thank you.
Good. It's great to talk to you both. Let's start with this auction that you're doing. We are both working on it. It's with Chester Pitts, the former NFL player, and his wife, Latoya, through your foundation, the A.A. Peterson Family Foundation. Tell us about this and your involvement and kind of what's happening there.
Yeah, so it was kind of it all kind of worked out perfectly because we met Chester a couple of years ago, and with that encounter, he kind of started telling us about the Carson Parks and what they do for the girls there. Aging from 12 to 17. They supply food for them, education, clothes, everything, a place to live. And I haven't had the opportunity to go visit, but my wife, she had the opportunity to go visit. And I just remember when she came back and she was just eyes wide open, just so excited about what they were doing for those girls and being able, to position those girls to be successful, and giving those girls that are underserved and underprivileged the opportunities that a lot of young girls and boys don't have the opportunity to, that's presented to them. So we wanted to get involved with the A&A Peterson Family Foundation, and my wife racked her brains and was like, "Hey, you know what? I got a great idea. I have a lot of, dresses and items that, just been they just hang up in my closet." So
Mm.
that's how she came up with Gown for Girls.
Yeah, yeah. So, like my husband said, we were actually putting on a camp at Atherton Elementary with the Barbara Bush Literacy Foundation, and Chester came out to support. And he told us about Carson Parke, and I definitely wanted to show that support back. And I was really interested because one of my passions, is pouring into other women, pouring into other young girls, and just kind of helping however I can in that capacity. And so when he told me about it, I knew I wanted to go, so I went. I was able to clean out my closet, take a bunch of stuff because they provide all of the clothing for these girls. So whatever's donated is what they have for them. So I was able to tour. They have like a clothing store in there that they set up for the girls, and, good behavior. They get to go shopping, a little extra and things like that. And I just loved it. I loved it so much. And I couldn't believe that they were doing this just from their heart. It's just he and his wife, and they are actually doing the work. They're in there, sun up to sundown with these girls. And I was so amazed. And I was like, you know what, babe, we need to do whatever we can to help them. And so I had all these gowns, like my husband said, we go to, different events and stuff, and I had nothing to do with them. And so I thought, hey, why not go ahead and auction these off and have the proceeds go to them? And then we got other people involved, and it actually just got so much larger. And so, it started as a small idea in my closet. And we just, were like, hey, okay, we have all these people now to help. And it's grown into something so large. So sorry, our son is distance learning this week. And so he's right here.
Listen, this is real life. It's okay, Ashley. Look at that little dude. What's up, buddy?
Hi.
Hello.
He's smiling right now.
He's
Five,
5.
5 years old. Oh, that's the perfect age, Ashley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
closed
I,
door behind you.
I do
Thank you.
want to, I do want to ask you, Ashley, because the auction is tomorrow as we're taping this on the 4th. So Friday, February 5th through Tuesday, February 9th. The goal is raising 50,000 to build the new kitchen for Carson Parke, the residential treatment center that you both just described. I'm curious, Ashley, from your perspective, when you went there and just seeing it yourself, as opposed to you just telling me, and I can only imagine what it was like, but being there, that had to have an impact for you.
It did. It did. Not only was I able to go tour the space, I loved it because they have a little makeup room set up for the girls, and that is right down my alley. So, like, I loved everything about it. And I was just like, man, this is amazing that you guys take the time to do this. And so I actually set up a time with them to come back and talk to the girls. Because I feel like it's so important, especially young women like that, for them to see other women, especially they have a lot of, women of color there. I feel like it's very important for them to see other women doing certain things in life and realizing that this is possible. So I set up a time. I was able to go talk to him, really get to know him. And it just melted my heart because Chester was like, I've never seen them so engaged or interested in anything. He was like, they were so excited and they were coming up to me asking for hugs after and just asking for advice. And that is what makes me happy. Like it warmed my heart so much. And I just knew right then, like, okay, I'm aligning myself with these girls and I'm going to help them in any way that I can. And so that's how this all began.
I love it. The website is aapetersonfamilyfoundation.org and then the /gowns, GOWNS. So make sure you go check that out. I'll give that website again on the back end of our conversation here with Adrian Peterson and his wife, Ashley, both joining us here on Sports Spectrum. All right, I want to intersect the conversation a little bit with faith. I know your faith's important to you both. Maybe, Adrian, start with you about your faith and how that plays a role in your walk with God in not only your marriage, but certainly in getting involved in things like this with your foundation and with that auction. Tell me about that.
I've always been big, on my faith and my belief, and knowing that, just in life in general, no matter what you go through, the one thing I hold true to myself is, our Heavenly Father will never give you more than you can bear. You know, So for me, at a young age, when I was 7, I lost my brother. He was a year older than me, and that was a time for me, which I reflect on now, that kind of helped shape me with being really strong in my faith and depending on God to provide and to lead me when I'm stranded. The I might be stranded for a little bit, but guess what? That foundation is there, so I've always found my way back. So that's why it's big for us with our faith to give, and a lot of people look at us now and be like, oh, are you really in the position to give? We are, we are, because we have people that surround us, the people that love us, people that know us personally and know our hearts. And so we're able to do things like we're doing with this auction, to be able to raise money and help these girls, and everything else we do with our foundation to be able to give back, because we are, what do you say? If you have, then give. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
give and you shall receive. So that's why it's always been important for me, not only from that perspective when it's coming about the foundation, but just when it comes to football and life in general, because we all go through different obstacles, and you never know, um, sharing a story or encouraging someone, being in the position that I'm in or having the platform that I have, how that might influence someone, how that might change someone's life. And just yesterday, I got a message from this young lady, this Asian. I think she's like 23, and she sent me a voice message, and I remember connecting with her maybe like 2 years ago, because she sell like designer shoes to a lot of big like athletes and stuff like that.
Mm.
She sent a message and she was like, Adrian, I just wanted to send this message and let you know that I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. I had a great year. And I just want to thank you for your encouragement. And, I've watched you since I was young, and the different things that you have battled through. And it seems like you always continue to keep your faith and continue to believe. And that was something that you talked to me about and expressed with me, that you're going to have different obstacles that you go through, but you keep your faith in God and continue to press forward, then you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. And so I just, like she says, nothing too important. I just was sitting here thinking, and when I kind of reflect back on, the success I'm having and how my business is going, I think about you.
Mm.
So for me, that's what it's all about. Being able to encourage the next person. You never know. Like I said, a simple word of encouragement could, catapult someone to a different level.
Yeah, that's really well said. Ashley, how about for you, the foundation of faith and certainly importance in your marriage, certainly parenting and just in how it guides you?
Absolutely. So faith has always been a huge part of my life. I actually grew up in church. And I'm sorry, hold on one second. If you go watch TV for a minute, mommy will give you a piece of candy when I get out.
He likes the camera too, clearly.
I'm
That's
sorry.
parenting 101 right there.
He loves the camera, so he would have stayed here in the camera, but
It's okay. It's okay.
no, that's something, it's something literally that has been instilled in me since I was a young girl. I went to church in Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Hmm.
Every Sunday we were in church. I went to revival, Bible study, all of that. So I have a relationship with the Lord,
Yeah.
and it's something that always helps. It's a tether, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, what you get into, that tether is always there. And for me, it's kept me grounded. It's, kept me through all of the ups and downs, everything that I've gone through. And it helps me to stay myself. It helps me to stay and be connected to who I really am. And
Mm.
so, like my husband said, just knowing that helping others, you reap what you sow. And if you're able to give back, why would you not give? And so that's kind of like our motto for life. That's how we walk through life. I teach my kids about it. They learn scriptures. They go to a Christian school. It's extremely important to us, probably the most important thing to us.
Mm. Adrian and Ashley Peterson joining us here on Sports Spectrum. Adrian, you were born in 1985, which is 8 years, I believe, if I'm doing my math correctly. I'm sorry, yeah, 9 years younger than Tom Brady, right? 8 years younger than Tom Brady. So he's 43 and playing in the Super Bowl on Sunday. And we're going to see you playing at 43 years old, because the fact that you play that position of running back at 35 and still doing your thing, are we going to see you playing at 43?
Yeah, you guys willing, I'll make it to the Super Bowl before I hit 43. But if my body is feeling good, which I don't see why it wouldn't be, hey, I'll still play the game.
I
You know,
love it. I
yeah.
love it. You don't want to hang it up yet. I love that.
No, man, I just because I have so much love for the game. People, say, well, why is he playing? Why is he continuing to play? Because I love the game. I love the game, and I still can play at a high level. So once I'm done, I want to be able to sit back and say, you know what, I gave it everything I had, and not only did I surpass what people thought, I set another platform for younger guys to be like, man, Adrian played till he was 40. Adrian played till he was 39. Why can't I do it? Like he left the blueprint of how it's done.
Hmm.
You know, I want to follow in his footsteps instead of being in the position where they say, oh, running backs that last 2 to 5 years and they're done. No, don't allow anyone to box you in.
Mm, that's really well said. Ashley, I want to ask you from a NFL player's wife perspective. We've had a few wives of the NFL players on our show in the past, and in the work that we do. And I always say they're the real MVPs in all this. While the NFL players, Adrian could probably shake his head like, "Yep, that's the truth," because it's the wives, the ones that are taking care of the kids while the husbands are out doing their thing in the NFL. Can you kind of give us a snapshot on what that's like keeping things going, especially during the season, especially now that it's been a while? Adrian's been doing this for a long time, but from your perspective, I think we need to show some love to the wives of these NFL players.
Yeah, it can be a lot, of course, because you want to, as a wife, you want to take on as much as you can so that they can focus on what they need to focus on,
Sure.
especially during the season. So, but I think because we've been doing it for so long, it's something that's second nature to me now. I'm used to packing up and moving every 6 months, and then packing up and moving again right after that. It's something that we've just become accustomed to. And actually, we kind of look forward to the moving around and things like that because we are able to see so many different places, meet so many different kind of people. My kids have lived all over the United States. And so they have those experiences that I feel like are invaluable and, helps to shape them and who they become because they are able to see such a broader scope than just Houston, Texas, or just Minnesota.
Hmm.
So, I'd say from a wife's perspective, it can be difficult having to take on so much, but I also think it's very much so worth it because in the big scheme of things, it's a snapshot in time and it's over. So I like to try to enjoy it as much as possible, take it all in, and realize that it's a blessing to be able to do this, even though it may be a lot. Hey, they say to whom much is given, much is required. So
That's
you have
true.
to take it all.
Mhm.
Adrian, you want to brag on Ashley for a minute?
Yeah, she does an incredible job, just providing for the family, taking care of, the kids, just doing all the little things, like for instance, we just came from Detroit. The boys were doing homeschool, and you see her in there now. She has not only transformed from being a mother, but a teacher as well, and for me, this experience dealing with COVID, I have appreciation because I know that it's a lot of work and it's a lot to take on, especially with these two little knuckleheads that we that we have. They're just so full of energy.
Yeah.
But during COVID, being at home, the homeschool, I think it was like 1,800 square feet that we had in Midtown in Detroit. It was like, whoo, you really gain a you get a new perspective and gain some appreciation for what she deals with on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
And
As we wind
not,
down, go ahead.
not only that, but like she's a business owner too.
Right.
Elizabeth Cosmetics. So doing her business and just watching her work, it's just like, man, I have so much respect for my wife and the time that she put in and the dedication it takes not only to raise two kids but run this company and still be a boss.
And bragging and bribing, I should say, the son to just have a piece of candy so you can spend 20 minutes and talk to me, right?
By any means necessary.
That's it. That's it. All right. As we wind down, a couple last questions. Adrian, I just want to ask you one more football question about your career. As you look back, a lot of accomplishments, obviously, and so many great things. An NFL MVP, fifth all-time leading rusher, and you're not done. Clearly, you said if a team will have you, you're ready to roll and you're ready to go again. But when you look back, how do you want to be remembered? What do you think people will say when they look back at Adrian Peterson's NFL playing career?
um I want people to say that he was the best player to ever play the game.
Yeah.
That's what I want people to remember. But even more than that, I want people to remember that what he was just a genuine, down to earth, good person. You know, because I feel like that's the most important thing. You know, because you can go out there and be the best at playing the game. But if you're a terrible person, people don't love you. People you don't respect you as much.
Yeah.
So for me, I want people to look back and say, you know what, I met him, and or he was somewhere, and I just kind of watched from afar, and he was nice to people. He treated people. He wasn't what a lot of people would expect when it comes to a Hall of Fame or the things that I have accomplished. He was a normal guy and a good guy.
That's good. As
Yeah.
we wind down, my last question is going to be for both of you. I'm really curious. This is a question we ask all of our guests. And again, it's Adrian and Ashley Peterson joining us. I want to mention one more time they're partnering with former Texans player Chester Pitts and his wife Latoya, raising money for Carson Parke. They'll be holding the auction Friday, February 5th through Tuesday, February 9th. The goal of raising $50,000 to build a new kitchen for Carson Parke Residential Treatment Center. The website, aapetersonfamilyfoundation.org/gowns. aapetersonfamilyfoundation.org/gowns. We'll put it in the show notes as well so people can get the website right there and click on it and help you guys out. All right, last question. We ask this to all of our guests here on Sports Spectrum. I'll start with you, Ashley. Ladies first. What's God teaching you right now? He's teaching us everything, something different every day. What's the great lesson the Lord is showing you right now?
Ooh, I would say right now, I am learning a lot of patience. I am learning a lot of patience right now. We just got back from Detroit, just all the changes. This transition time is usually like a little difficult. And so I'm learning a lot of patience right now. And also learning to be able to keep my peace in the midst of so much going on around me.
That's good. How about Adrian? What's the Lord showing you and teaching you right now?
He's really teaching me a lot when it comes to just having like clarity, having clarity and you know, being a, a follower. And what I mean by that is letting him take the wheel, you know, um, trying not to control the outcome of a lot of different things, you know. And I when I sit back and I think about it, it's like, you know what, I do find myself in that position trying to, you know, like having faith and knowing that God is going to, you know, continue to help shape me, continue to lead me and my family, but ultimately trusting in him and letting him lead the way. You know, say, you know what, you take over the driver's wheel. I'm gonna get in the passenger seat and I'll just let you work. So it's a combination of just having clarity with a lot of things that we have experienced through our life here in the last 4 or 5 years, mostly, and just really fully trusting in him and letting him take the wheel.
Yeah, clarity and patience. I think we could all use a little bit more of that in our life, especially in our walks with the Lord. Adrian Peterson, Ashley Peterson, thank you both so much. Again, the Adrian and Ashley Peterson Family Foundation is where this all stems from. Again, we'll put the website in the show notes and make sure people go and be a part of that auction. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you both.
Thanks,
Thank
Jason.
you.
Appreciate it, man.